Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start putting together a song, a very famous song, into Mixcraft. And I'm going to show you how to pull out of the library of sounds. We're going to pull out a riff, we're going to chop it up, we're going to find the chords in the riff, and then we're going to piece them together to create a very popular song called Let It Be by the Beatles. So let me show you that song. We're going to come over here and take a look at the lead sheet for this song. And as you can see, this is Let It Be by Paul McCartney, of course the famous Beatles song. If you look at this, you can see that we start out with a chord called C major. We're in the key of C. There's no sharps and flats. So we've got C, G major, A minor, F, and then C. And you'll notice that there's a repeat of G, F, and of course we got the G7, which is the dominant seventh we've talked about in class, and then back to C. If you notice, the next line is pretty much the same thing, and the next line is pretty much the same thing. And what you'll find out is this song is basically 4 chords. As we come down here to the B section, if you will, we have A minor, G, F, C. It's mixed up a little bit, but basically it's the same 4 chords. Now, true, we do have some other chords in here, but you'll find out that those chords are really passing chords and not really important to the song. We can make the song work with just these 4 chords, C, G, A minor, and F. Now, if you remember, C is the 1, which is the tonic, G is the 5, which is the dominant, A minor is the 6, which is a minor chord, and F is the subdominant, which is the 4 chord. So what I'm going to do is basically set up the rhythm for this song in Mixcraft. So let's come back to Mixcraft, and let's find a good track that we can use to parse up and create our track. So I'm going to choose this unplugged acoustic guitar phrase A. So I'm going to take this and drag it up into my Mixcraft, and then I'm going to get a message here, and it's going to say, this sound is different than your project. As you can see, the original recording of this track was G major. Our project is in C. So I'm just going to say yes right now and accept it in the key of G. If I play this, you can compare that with a guitar and you'll find out that is a G chord. You'll see now that my project has changed to G. Of course, the song is in the key of C. So what we want to do now is we want to change this to the key of C, because otherwise we're going to have to transpose every chord and it's going to get a little tricky. So I'm going to say key of C, and I'm going to say OK. Now when I play it, you can see that that has changed the pitch of that riff. So let me play some of this riff, and I want you to listen. Okay, I hope you heard 4 different chords there. You heard the chord changes. Some of you who play guitar could probably pick that out, and I think you'd find that there are 4 chords. So I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to play until the change. And you see that it changes right on beat 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and chop this, and actually I don't even want this second piece of this C chord, so I'm going to chop it right back here at the half beat. So I'm going to make sure my snap is off, because otherwise it will prevent me from chopping at the half beats. And then I'm going to just hit the Control T and chop that out. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to create an additional track. I'm going to create an audio track, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it down into this track. Okay, so at this point we have the first chord of our song. Now this is a little bit fast, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the tempo, bring it down to about 80, because Let It Be is a little bit slower than that. So now I have, okay, so I have the first two beats of my song, and that's a C chord. So now I'm going to mute that. I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to play. Okay, and there's the G. Notice that this is the G chord. Now I've already chopped this out, so what I want to do here is bring this down and put this here. So now I have the C and the G. So let's mute this, and let's unmute this, and let's listen. Okay, so we have the C, G. Now the next thing, if we go back here, we'll see we need an A minor. Now this is a little tricky because the chord that we are given is, okay, it's a minor, but it is not the A minor, unfortunately. It's going to be a D minor. But what we'll have to do is play with this a little bit. So I'm going to chop this, then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to chop, let me just undo that. I'm going to chop this right at the 2 beat mark, and then I'll have my minor chord. I'll bring my minor chord down, and now I will mute this and play this, and you'll hear that it will be minor. Okay, it is minor, but it isn't A minor, it's D minor. So what we have to do here is we're going to come over here and make sure we've highlighted this, and we're going to try to adjust this project key, and we're going to adjust the pitch, and we're going to try going up from D minor up 7 semitones to an A minor, and let's hope this works. Okay, so with a little bit of work and a little bit of trial and error, it seems that this measure works with a 12 semitone, which actually doesn't really make sense, but when you listen to it, you see that is the A minor that we want, that is the sound we want. So there's probably a little glitch in Mixcraft here, because 12 semitones really doesn't make sense. 12 semitones is an octave, and that's really not what we've got here. So I'm not sure why that didn't work quite right, but we did get the right chord anyway, so you may have to play with that semitone a little bit to get that to work. Now, if we mute this, the next chord we need, and actually the last chord we need, is the F. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to unmute this, and I'm going to play this. Okay. Da, da. So we see that the F is in fact right here. So at the 4, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to chop this, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to chop at the half point, and that should be the F that I need. So I'm going to bring that down. Obviously I do not need all of this, so I'm going to chop that again, put this back up here. So let's see what I've got. I'm going to unmute this, I'm going to mute this, and then I'll come back. Okay, there's the F, and then we want to go back to the C, which I've already got here, so I'll just copy that C, put that C here, and paste that in. And then if we look here, what have we got next? The G, and then the F, and then the C. So we can just copy those from what we've already got. You know the G is the second chord that we put in, so we'll copy that over here, and paste that in. And then we wanted the F, which was here, so we'll copy the F, and we'll put the F in over here. So at this point, it's simply taking what we've already done and just putting it in like building blocks. Okay, so that should be what we want. Let's listen. Oh, let's go back and let's listen. Okay, that sounds good. It may even be a little faster than we want, but if we put in a melody with that, you'll see that is in fact what we want. Okay, and at that point you're just going to copy that whole thing over again for the next line, and then you've got all of the building blocks in place. So unfortunately that A minor was a little bit funny for us, but we did get it to work. And so that's basically the process. After that, you can go and you can choose some other library loops, and you can put in a bass, you can put some drums in, and you can put in some lead guitar, and you can even write your own little melody of the song to go in, and you'll have the piece all set to go. So I'll let you do the rest. Have fun. Bye-bye.